Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 12th annual El Mundo Hispanic Heritage Breakfast, or, as Governor Charlie Baker refers to it, his last Hispanic Heritage Breakfast. I actually refer to it as the event that sold out quicker than Bad Bunny at Fenway Park. Right, Red Sox? Yes. All right, for those of you who are here for the first time, put your hands up, please. Okay. So I see a few rookies. I see Secretary of Housing and Economic Development Mike Keneally is in the house. Kevin Tabb, CEO of Beth Israel Leahy, is a first-timer. Dan O'Donnell, Vice President of the Greater Boston Convention and Visitors in the house. I see him raising his hand. 2 rules, very simple rules here at the Hispanic Heritage Breakfast for the first-timers. Rule number 1, whatever happens at the Hispanic Heritage Breakfast stays at the Hispanic Heritage Breakfast. I don't want to get canceled again, okay? Rule number 2. You ready for this one? Rule number 2. Please keep your applause to a minimum. Unless, of course, it's for me. Then standing ovations are allowed. Oh. Thank you. So spontaneous. We rehearsed that 5 minutes ago. Good job. All right, so why are we here? The governor asks me that every year, literally. What am I doing here, Alberto? Well, Gov, we are here to honor Hispanic Heritage Month, a national celebration of the positive contributions that Latinos have made to this great nation, this great Commonwealth, and this great city of Boston, the greatest city in the world, ladies and gentlemen. You better applaud. You better applaud. This morning, we will acknowledge the history of the Latino community here in Boston, as we've seen it through the pages of El Mundo newspaper, celebrating 50 years today, or this month. El Mundo turns 50 as the oldest and most recognized Latino media outlet, and we are proud to have you all here. We're also here to honor MGB, an institution in Massachusetts that stepped up when our community needed the most. We will honor an organization that builds Latinx economic and political power, as we will award Amplify Latinx later this morning. And we will honor a woman who has, for the past 50 years, dedicated herself to this community and much more. Regla Gonzalez will be receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award later this morning. And over the course of 50 years, there's 2 constants in the history of El Mundo. My father and my mother, who started it, and one partner, and only one partner. And they are here for 50 years, our first and longest running partner, Goya Foods, ladies and gentlemen, right here, 50 years. And later you'll learn a little bit more about that unprecedented relationship. I don't know if you have a relationship with any other media outlet as close as you are with El Mundo. So are we ready? Are we ready? All right, our goal here is to leave with a big serving of optimism, hope, and unity. Attorney General Maura Healey's goal is that everyone leaves here voting for her so that she could be here next year. Where is she? Are you here? Okay. She's already making her way up. Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting a text. I'm getting a text already. Let me tell you who this is. I don't know who this would be, but it better be important because, hey, it's a guy named Jeff. Says, hey, Alberto, I'm in the room as well. I'm also in the governor's race. Don't forget about me. Jeff Deal is in the house, Republican. How are you, Jeff? Where are you? Stand up. Jeff is in the house as well. All right. So with that said, let me introduce our head table, each of whom will be coming up here to offer some lighthearted and inspiring words. Governor Charlie Baker, ladies and gentlemen, our esteemed governor. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu is in the house. U.S. Representative Ayanna Presley is in the house. MGH's beloved Dr. Joe Betancourt is in the house. East Boston, get ready. East Boston Neighborhood Health Center CEO and President Greg Wilmot is in the house. Massachusetts State Senator Lydia Edwards, who was a little late, but we have to excuse her. She took the orange line in. State Senator Lydia Edwards. And Chelsea's very own City Council President, Roy Avellaneda, is in the house as well. Lifetime Achievement recipient, Regla Gonzalez, is in the house. And last but not least, a man who claims he is my father, but only on his tax returns, El Mundo Boston founder and CEO, Alberto Vasallo Jr. The shorter of the Vasallo. All right, I know what you're all thinking as I introduce the head table. This year's going to be filled with nasty accusations, allegations, controversy, and a lot of drama. And that's just when I introduce my father, ladies and gentlemen. So please, the Vasallo family will bring that this morning. Okay, without our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen, none of this could happen. And I want to be transparent as possible. El Mundo's existence and ability to serve the community for over 50 years is a direct result of companies like Goya. And today we have from our small, medium, corporate partners all here. So a big round of applause for all of you. It's standing room only today. But special thanks to Goya, Mass General Hospital, and also the Boston Globe, ladies and gentlemen. Our colleagues from the Boston Globe are a presenting sponsor as they celebrate 150 years. So can I get a round of applause for the Boston Globe and our colleagues? I did a little fun fact. I searched in their archives and I saw their very first subscriber 150 years ago was a gentleman named Winston Nathaniel Baker V. Charlie, I think that's your grandfather, right? Remember? Look at his face. Here, let's take a look at our friends from the Globe who sent a little message to all of you. If we can run the Globe video.
La distancia se puede acortar con una risa inesperada. Una vecina divertida o nuevo entendimiento del mundo con nosotros es un pueblo celestial inteligente que encargue nuestro beso. A algunos les gusta mantener el cosmos en las palmas de sus manos, mientras a otros les gusta mantener a la tierra sostenida en la luz. Faro de luz obligado a cargar, ciudad cerca, una de la libertad, un globo que da.
All right. Let's start without further ado our first speaker. Governor Baker, I am honored to share this stage with you. And by stage, I mean this last stage of your political career. I want to wish you the best on a journey of quietly quitting on us. Oh, man. For the past 7 years, you've been at this breakfast. You've only missed it once when the Columbia gas explosion happened. So the El Mundo team begged me to go easy on you. So I'm not going to make fun of your white hair, right after the Tea Party. I'm not going to make fun of any of that stuff, Gov. As a matter of fact, today is about saying thank you to you. And more than anyone in this room, there's a group of people that you may never ever meet. They may never get the chance to say thank you in person. But we went to Chelsea, Massachusetts, your hometown, Roy, a city that you helped immensely. And these are some of the people, what they wanted to say to you. Roll the video.
De parte mía y de mi familia le doy las gracias al gobernador Baker por la gran ayuda que nos ha dado a nuestra comunidad de aquí de Chelsea.
Señor gobernador, muchísimas gracias por todo lo que ha hecho por toda nuestra gente y toda mi familia y muchísimas gracias por la ayuda que nos ha dado.
Charlie, muy buenas tardes. Estamos muy agradecidos aquí en la comunidad hispana con usted por todas las ayudas durante la pandemia.
Dear Governor, this may be messy right now, but thanks to you, La Colaborativa will have finally a home, state-of-the-art survival center because you thought of us, and we are extremely grateful for everything you have done for our community.
Gobernador, gracias por todo usted. Thank you very much.
Gracias, Gobernador Baker.
Governor, remember Alberto introduced us when nobody knew who you were, nobody knew who I was. Now nobody knows who Alberto is. Congratulations, man. You know we love you.
got to tell you, Alberto, that that's the kind of video that leaves a politician speechless. So I'm just going to start, first of all, by saying that COVID was a team effort in Massachusetts. Now, every week, especially early on, there was a call that a lot of governors got on. It was always scheduled at the same time. You never knew how many governors were on the call. The only reason you'd figure out somebody was on it was because they'd start talking. It was almost like a party line, except it was therapy. And people talked about all kinds of things, the problems they were having, the issues they were dealing with, the trouble, the tragedy, the anxiety, the disruption, everything. And I used to get off that call, and I would go find my wife. Sometimes it was 11 or 12 o'clock at night, because to get the West Coast in, we had to do it late. And I would literally say, I'm so glad that I'm the governor in Massachusetts, because people here stepped up for their friends, for their neighbors, for the communities, and it was really, in some ways, very different than what people saw in many other parts of the country. So, having watched that video, Chelsea stepped up for Chelsea. We did a lot of things to help, and I have to tell you, Alberto, the work that El Mundo did, not as a news organization, sort of, but as a community voice, information in both directions about what to do, where to go if you're dealing with food insecurity or housing issues or vaccine issues or healthcare issues or testing or whatever they were. For 50 years, most of us have thought about El Mundo as a news organization. And to both Albertos, senior and junior, you did that as well as anybody. But I have to tell you, during COVID, what you really were was a profound communicator, and you made such a difference as an organization in so many ways to so many people. And we are all, and should be, enormously grateful for what you guys did. Thank you. Thank you. I also just want to say a couple other things. I can't believe you're calling me a quiet quitter. Oh, Jesus. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not quiet and I'm not a quitter. I just want to say a couple things. The first is, to the folks here who served on our Latino Advisory Commission and our Black Advisory Commission, you made an enormous difference for your communities here in Massachusetts. Massachusetts, because of the guidance and the information we got from you, ran the largest small business, owner-operated COVID relief program in America. The largest, not the largest per capita, not the largest per GDP, the largest. It was a $700 million program. 15,000 very small businesses, almost all of them owner-operated, many of them storefronts, restaurants, hospitality, retail. Half of those businesses were operated and owned by people of color, and about half of them were owned and operated by women. And it was, in many respects, one of the real lifelines that helped a lot of those organizations that didn't qualify for PPE, didn't get access to a lot of the federal money, that got them through the pandemic and to the end. And that worked because we had good, solid guidance and advice from our colleagues on those two commissions and our colleagues in the legislature on the Black and Latino caucus. And the two other things I just want to mention briefly. One is, Massachusetts has always been a welcoming place, and I thought the folks in Martha's Vineyard proved that time and time again over the course. What I'm sure for them was a really difficult couple of days. And St. Andrews was a beautiful church, but it had 2 bathrooms and 1 shower. And we're going to do everything we can, as we always do, to help the folks who who landed there and who now are down on the Cape find what they need here in Massachusetts, because we have always benefited from and been stronger as a result of those who come here for the first time, looking for a place to work, a place to live, and a place to build great community and great families. And that's always been what Massachusetts has been about, all the way back to the very beginning, and I do believe it's what we will always be about. And the just final thing I want to say is, you know, Alberto talks about this as a chance for people to come and roast and laugh and honestly, to be goofy, dude. But we should all remember that 5 years ago, at this breakfast, right after the first hurricane in Puerto Rico, Maria, we created a fundraising drive that was managed through the Boston Foundation and ended up sending millions and millions of dollars in relief aid to the people in Puerto Rico. And I find it tragically ironic that we're here again 5 years later, and they are once more dealing with the consequences of a hurricane. And I've talked to the president down there, and we and many other states are going to send goods and services down to help. I will say that their infrastructure was in way better shape for dealing with Fiona than it was when they were dealing with Maria. So that's a sign that actually good things happened in between. But you should always remember that amidst the laughs and the jokes and all the rest, there's a ton of serious business that goes on between and among the folks who are in this room. And it's that serious business, hopefully with a laugh, that helps many people make it from one day to the next, no matter where they're from, no matter what their history is, and no matter what the need and the opportunity is for all us here in Massachusetts. And I just want to close, Regla. I've known you for a very long time. That's kind of a hint that both of us are on the other side of 30, okay? But she is a really special person, and honestly, to Armando, on your 50th anniversary, I just want to say you could not have picked a better person to represent the long and cherished history of the Latino community here in the Commonwealth of Mass than Regula to give this honor to. So congratulations, Regula.
Our next speaker needs no introduction, but she's a huge fan of public transportation. Let me show you just how much of a fan of public transportation she is. Michelle Wu, Mayor Michelle Wu, is so nice and generous to everyone. And I do mean everyone, Michelle, because, you know, I know you were inspired to provide free public transportation. And I know one of the driving forces was so that all of your early morning protesters could have a safe and free trip getting to your home each and every morning. That's unselfishness from a woman who's on fire. That girl is on fire. Ladies and gentlemen, a woman who needs no introduction, our city's top leader and a historic figure here in Massachusetts, Mayor Michelle Wu, ladies and gentlemen. She's on fire.
Good morning, buenos dias. I am quite nervous to be up here. And it's too bad the governor left before he could be on the receiving end of some of what's coming, I think, between Ayanna and Lydia and me. It is an incredible honor to be up here and to be in a room with so many change makers, community leaders, for such a well-deserved Lifetime Achievement Award winner. Regla Gonzalez, thank you so much for all of your inspirational work. And to those who are saving lives, changing laws, making a difference, breaking down barriers every single day. I want to just thank all of my colleagues in government who are here and all of our community leaders. This collection of people, of power, of talent, of passion really makes it so that the El Mundo Hispanic Heritage Breakfast Day is the second most exciting day all year in Boston, after Bad Bunny Day.
Wow.
Now, you all thought I was running for mayor to fight for affordable housing, green jobs, public transit, our kids. Yes, and also to make Benito. Now, come to think of it, we have the Bad Bunny of local media platforms right here, Alberto Basayo. Great hair, great rhythm, a wonderful way with words. Okay, no one thinks that's fun. I'll move on. Thank you so much to El Mundo for 50 years of making sure that community in Boston could be strengthened and have information that is trustworthy, reliable, and accessible. That is even more important today when politics can feel so broken. I can't stop thinking about that Republican governor who promised all these people that they'd get to Boston with jobs and services waiting for them, and instead they were left stranded on a burning Orange Line train over the Mystic River. He left. He ran away.
You have to record that. We'll send it to him. We'll send it to him.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That was the old Orange Line. Now we have the new Orange Line. No, and I'm very honored always to be sharing a stage and a microphone with Governor Charlie Baker, or as he likes to call himself during Hispanic Heritage Month, Carlos Panadero. And I do want to congratulate El Gobernador on the Orange Line reopening on Monday. Brand new trains and tracks, clean stations. This week we learned that sometimes you just have to shut it all down for 30 days, fix it, and reset before it gets even worse. Right? Don't you wish we could do that with other parts of our lives? Family conflicts, the Red Sox this season, the Celtics now. The district attorney's race earlier.
Too soon.
No matter what happened in the primary cycle, we are unified heading into the general election, Tuesday, November 8th. Everyone has to get all of your friends and family out to vote. And in all seriousness, there are some really important things on the ballot. We have to re-elect trailblazing leaders like our Congresswoman, like our state senator. We have important ballot initiatives also to get resources through the Fair Share Amendment for all of our communities and important priorities, and to defend the progress that has been made in securing legislation for driver's licenses for all, no matter of status. We have to protect that progress. It's seeing that progress and the energy in Massachusetts to keep it going that really makes me so inspired and so grateful for our thriving and incredible Latino community here in Boston and across our Commonwealth. I am so grateful for all of your leadership and partnership when the world can feel incredibly overwhelming sometimes, and on so many issues, we in this room represent a bit of what Boston has, which is the ability to make a difference that then changes the course of history throughout the country and beyond. And so thank you so much, and congratulations to Alberto Basayo Los Dos and the whole El Mundo family on 50 years. For those of us under 50, it's sometimes hard to comprehend what that period of time feels like. But let me put it this way. It's about how long you have to wait for the next Orange Line train to come. All right, here's to 50 more years of news and community. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay, wait, Mayor. If you could help me award this year's El Mundo Boston Corporate of the Year Award. Mayor Wu, please.
Okay, as Alberto said earlier, El Mundo Boston is a small business by definition, a family-run enterprise with a 50-year history that's a local Boston-based company. It depends on business relationships, as is exemplified by all of the friends in the room today. But this year, one organization stood head and shoulders above in terms of support. So this morning, El Mundo Boston honors Mass General Hospital and Mass General Brigham with the Corporate Partner of the Year Award. Please check out the video.
A corporate sponsor for El Mundo Boston means much, much more than a sponsor or a client. They are a true partner in what can best be called a labor of love in service to a community that many times gets either overlooked or underserved. Today, we honor our Partner of the Year, Massachusetts General Hospital and Massachusetts General Brigham. Thanks to their partnership this year, El Mundo Boston was able to launch an unprecedented multimedia mental health program in Spanish before it was the next big thing in healthcare. MGH and MGB's support in El Mundo's efforts to get our community back to work at this year's Latino Career Expo was once again top tier, led by Dr. Joseph Betancourt's efforts and personal participation. And who could ever forget MGH's continued partnership with El Mundo Boston during and after COVID, and helping to keep the community informed with their support of our daily morning show, La Hora del Café. The world may know MGB and MGH as global leaders in healthcare, but we know this team as homegrown champions of our local community. Congratulations on this year's Corporate Partner of the Year Award.
How many of you were here last year? All right, good. Got a lot of new ones. All right. Alberto, I didn't expect this. I'm honored. It's really wonderful to be back with you here all again. And thanks to all of you for being here. This is the most inspiring day of the year for us as Latinos, Latinas, our Latinx community coming together. So thank you, and I hope you feel that same inspiration. Today we celebrate Latino Heritage Month, a month to reflect on our diverse communities, all united by our shared and beautiful, resilient culture. It's a day of happiness and joy. But also, as the governor mentioned, we're here with a heavy heart as Hurricane Fiona did big damage again to Puerto Rico y Santo Domingo. I hope we can do everything we can to mobilize for them, including making donations to charitable organizations on the ground, and also making sure that our political leaders step up and give Puerto Rico and Santo Domingo the support that they need. This has been a great year for El Mundo. We're also excited to celebrate that as well. Last year I had the pleasure of being here, sharing with you a bit about our Spanish language care group, the way our Latino and Latina physicians stepped up for our community, really providing information during the pandemic, and also as community messengers, bringing culturally and linguistically competent information into our neighborhoods every single day. And this year, with the launch of La Hora del Café, we were so excited to be able to partner with El Mundo to really provide what we call Un Minuto de Salud. And we've been so excited, this program, and if there's my colleague, Dr. Efren Flores, Dr. Gladys Pachas, if we give them a round of applause, they helped organize this effort. But Un Minuto de Salud is really an opportunity for us to engage our community with the latest information, and also do it while we have a little bit of fun. And we've covered great topics already, and we're going to be covering a lot more. And so let me just give you a little preview of what we're aiming to do this upcoming year on Un Minuto de Salud. So we have big plans. And I'll say, you know, last year I spoke a bit about my abuela, and I continue to think about her a lot as she motivates our work. So I guess the first thing, Juan Luis, we could put our primary sponsor, which is La Abuela. So the sponsor for Un Minuto de Salud is La Abuela this year, and we're very excited about that, and that will advise and inspire us in everything we do. But important for you all to know, and I'm going to need, again, help from my translators and interpreters here, we will tackle los mitos de la salud en la comunidad latina. I'm going to tackle it head on, right? So we'll tackle things that we heard como niños, things that we heard from our familias, and things that, hell, we still talk about today, and you might even believe. So let me walk through a couple of these. First, do you really catch catarro if you go out with wet hair? ¿Cuántas veces nos han dicho eso? No salgas con el pelo mojado. Not a problem for me. I know a lot of people here with no hair. We still get colds. When I get off the beach, my people's hair is wet. We're going to tackle that head on. Okay. Tienes fiebre. You have fever. un baño de alcoholado superior. Right? Is that really the best treatment for fever? How about this one? Ponte mucha ropa para que lo sudes. Okay. Another one. Doctor, me duelen los riñones. Right? Is that back pain, maybe? How do you know it's your riñones? We're going to tackle that one. Tengo gases porque me entró un aire. Maybe too many habichuelas. Maybe too many habichuelas. Another $1 million question, and you all know this question. Does Vicks Vaporub does it cure? And we won't stop there. We won't stop there. Because the next question we'll ask is, ¿mejor aquí por la nariz, por el pecho, o por la cabeza? And of course, and finally, we've all heard this. Sana, sana. Does culito de rana really sana? And then why quizás hoy o quizás mañana? And then when nothing else works, we will answer the question, if you've run out of options, why is it always lo que Dios quiera? So please, tune in to this and much more from our best Latino, Latina doctors at MGH on Un Minuto de Salud every Wednesday. Oh, I'm not done yet. Oh, I'm not done yet. I'll be done in 2 more minutes. Trust me. But I will say, before I end, I think it's important that we all reflect on 50 years of El Mundo, the memories. And you know, Alberto, who I love dearly as a friend, you know, I never try to roast him when I come up here because I love him too much. But this year I've made an exception. Very gentle, but you know, I'll say Alberto gets, and Juan Luis, let's put the photo up. He gets a reputation years ago for really having been a player and what we in our community would call a papi chulo, right? Juan Luis, can we show some photos there? Yeah, look at this. So let me share a conversation that we had. And if you could believe it, I actually recorded it. But to do this, I need to set the tone. I need to set the tone here for a moment. Set the tone here. So here comes. Okay. Here it comes. And the shirt's coming off this year. Ready? Everybody see this? Okay. The papi chulo. Okay. So, here's a conversation I had with Alberto 10 years ago. So this is the story. One day I get a text from Alberto's burner phone. It's about 10 years ago. He says, "Mira, tía, mi titi has been bothering me, and she's really mad at me." So I call him and I say, "Tell me about it. And what is she telling you?" And Juan Luis, let's play the recording, because this is what he said. So I said, Alberto, you know, she kind of has a point. I hear you. I mean, like, you have all these novias, you know, you're young, you're hip, you're cool. Where are you going to take them? Not yet for that one, Juan Luis. We got that one next. So let me just say one thing. It's amazing how much he sounded like Bad Bunny 10 years ago, right? It's incredible. So he says at the end, he says, "Yeah, I'm going to take him to the VIP, say cheese." And I say, "Man, you have a burner phone. You can't even take a photo on that. And it doesn't even take photos. Are you going to bring out your old Polaroid camera?" So I say, "Look, you know, let me talk to your titi." I'll talk to her. And I call up his titi, and we talk about the situation. And I ask her, "Titi, ¿qué le dijiste?" And she says, "Esto es lo que le dije." Juan Luis. She's very serious about what she was saying to him. And so I call Alberto back and I say, man, what is it that you want? Your titi's mad, you're partying, you're going to the VIP. What do you want? That's what he says. Let's sing that one more time. Let's sing it to Alberto now. Ready? Hit it, Juan Luis. Yo quisiera enamorarme, pero no puedo, pero no puedo. Yo quisiera enamorarme. All right, Alberto, that's it for me, but I'll just say before we end, and that was a little bit of fun, all kidding aside, congrats to Alberto El Mundo for 50 years, the original Papi Chulo, but we have to honor today the original Big Papi of Boston for 50 years of service and for all the incredible work, and somebody who is on the dais today. So this is my last shirt, and this is where I retire. We got the original. Thank you all. I love this community. I love El Mundo. I love Alberto, his dad. I love my family at MGB and MGH. Thank you all so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Joseph Betancourt, who after this will now forever host this breakfast because I can never be as good as him. So that's his new job, hosting the breakfast. All right, our next presenter exemplifies the true definition of a trailblazer. She's a woman who has proven that anything is possible in America. She's an activist, legislator, survivor, and the first woman of color to be elected to Congress from Massachusetts. She has always fought to ensure that those closest to the pain are closest to the power. Her catchphrase that is as deep as it is profound. Please welcome a woman I do not want to cross. She knows more about my personal life than even Joseph Betancourt, because she's the only one I trust to approve all my swipe rights, right? A woman who has successfully sworn to secrecy, who always has my back, even when she throws me under the bus. Please welcome Congresswoman Ayanna Presley, everybody.
And thank you, Alberto, for having me again and for making sure my invitation didn't get lost in the mail like it did last year. And thank you to everyone who made this year's breakfast possible, especially, and let me just pause for a moment. Earlier, I was greeted by Brian O'Connor, as someone that I worked with when I worked for Congressman Joseph P. Kennedy II. And while I was an intern and a student at Boston University at Congressman Joseph P. Kennedy II's office, I also worked in hotel banquet staff for 6 years. And know what it is to feel a part of an invisible workforce where people look over you and look through you. So I want to thank everyone who made today's breakfast possible. If you would salute our wait staff. But it is very surreal. Every time I'm greeted with one of my siblings in the hospitality space, I'm just reminded of just how much this city has given to me and changed the trajectory of my life. I came here in 1992 not knowing a soul, found community, crystallized my purpose. Congressman Kennedy gave me an opportunity as an intern in that office, and 25 plus years later, I am now the Congresswoman for that seat. So I owe this city God's grace, honestly, everything. It is also incredible just to be in community with you. Congratulations to Alberto Sr. and Jr. and El Mundo for your 50 years of service. What an incredible legacy. Thank you for being our storytellers, and thank you for holding those of us in power accountable. But the storytelling is so very important to ensure that there are no hidden figures when it comes to the contributions of this incredible community. Congratulations on 50 years of service. And I'm really honored to be seated at this head table with so many influential people. I know he departed, but I do want to just say I'm really happy for Governor Baker. He finally gets to fulfill his destiny and become Charlie on the MBTA, never to be seen again. Well, I guess the trains have to be running for that to be true. Mayor Wu is with us too, and we're also very proud of her. She's riding bikes to work and changing city cars to electric vehicles and maybe finally painting, I'm sorry to my former council colleagues, that ugly City Hall building green. Now, we can lie and tell folks it's for the Green New Deal, but we all know it's for the Celtics, with or without Ime. I do also, come on y'all, work with me, all right? Speaking of working with me, shout out to all my Latinas, looking beautiful in the room. Oh my goodness, I owe you all so much. You have just taught me so much about strength and beauty, how to grocery shop in stilettos, how to perfectly apply my eyebrows and lip liner. For that, I'm grateful. And shared so many pearls of wisdom, like there is nothing in the world more powerful than a Dominican blowout. 2, Vicks Vapor Rub can cure anything. And finally, the most important pearl of wisdom that I've received from my Latinas: never, ever cross Gladys Vega. It's all love, y'all. This is, and facts. Shout out to Chelsea. But truly, being in this room always reminds me of the collective power and diversity of our Hispanic neighbors, and it is just, I'm so glad to be here. And it is my humbling honor to represent the Massachusetts 7th, the most diverse district in the Commonwealth, and home to such a rich and thriving Latino community. The Colombians and Salvadorians and Hondurans in East Boston and Chelsea, let me hear y'all. The Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and Cubans and JP in the South End. The Mexicans and Brazilians in Cambridge, Somerville, Everett, and beyond. Every single person in this room and outside who belongs to this community, you are truly the embodiment of all that we should hold dear. A love for family, a dedication to your faith, a willingness to build your community, of course, delicious food, fantastic music, extraordinary dance, and you all take on righteous fights that matter not just for your own community, but for our very humanity. Speaking of people like Gladys Vega, standing in the gap, seeing every member of community, as we all should, as a member of the human family. I thank you all for standing in the gap during these unprecedented challenges the last 3 years, the mutual aid that you have provided. I thank you all for being justice seekers and movement builders and thought leaders. I thank you for being first responders, essential workers, faith leaders, educators. I thank you for leading nonprofits, owning small businesses, running soup kitchens. You are civic leaders, veterans, service members who defend our democracy and our freedom day in and day out, and you are an increasingly growing and powerful voting bloc and a pipeline of electoral leadership. And again, you are journalists like the folks here at Mundo who use the power of the pen to tell our stories and hold us in power accountable. I could go on, but I won't because the clock has exceeded my time. But the point is, your sweat equity makes our country stronger and our policy making more informed, whether we're fighting for things, which I led the fight for in the House alongside Senator Warren in the Senate, to cancel student debt, which is expected to wipe out the debt of half of all Latino student loan borrowers. A just immigration system that treats people like those cruelly transported to Massachusetts in recent weeks with compassion instead of cruelty. Leaders who recognize that our policy is to change and save lives and not plays with them and does not play with them. Hurricane relief for Puerto Rico and a climate policy that centers our most vulnerable. A just foreign policy in Central America and beyond that does not force people to flee. I am proud to call you partners in the work to build a more just and equitable world, because if the story of America and our Commonwealth is one of progress, well, then we owe it to you. We owe it to your collective power, collective resilience, and your collective advocacy. And so I thank you again for having me today, and congratulations to our distinguished honorees. You are the embodiment of Latina and Latino excellence. And I thank you for all that you do to build a better Massachusetts, and indeed, a better America.
Thank you, Ayanna. Right now, I want to take time to give a couple shout-outs. Is Paul Francisco here? Paul Francisco, State Street. You are another one of the Mundo's great. Is that Mara Healy next to you? Hey, Mara, how are you? Were you here for the joke about you earlier? Okay, just checking. Just want to make sure you heard it. Juan Lopera. Where's Juan Lopera? Juanito. Beloved Juan Lopera in our Beth Israel Leahy Medical Center table. We're going to hear a little bit more as well, because they've got a special guest here that I also wanted to acknowledge as well. You know what, let's do that now. Maria Zaperkowicz, are you here? Maria is many like her, one of our beloved essential workers. Her first time here. Great job, Juan, getting her here. She's the backbone of organizations like that. Good job, Juan. Good job, everybody. All right. Our friends from the Museum of Science have made us an offer that none of us can refuse. First of all, thank you for the partnership, Museum of Science. Thank you, Tim Ritchie, if you're here. Thank you, Juisa Perez. Thank you, Todd Sperry. Thank you, everybody at Museum of Science. And Saturday, October 1st, next week, the museum is hosting its first ever Latinx Heritage Day, and they have given me permission to have an Oprah moment. So, we've got 630 people in here, which means every single one of you gets a free ticket to the Museum of Science after today. So, Mara Healy, you get a free ticket. Jeffrey Deal, you get a free ticket. Anthony Amore, you get a free ticket. Diana, you get a free ticket. Where are my Boston City councilors? Are they here? If you are a Boston City councilor, you don't get a ticket. No, I'm just kidding. Only the ones that voted for the Cuban resolution. Where are those? Wait a minute. Where's Murphy? Where's Murphy? Where's Flaherty? Are they here? They're here. Thank you so much. Where's Lara? You don't get a ticket. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Ricardo Arroy is in the house as well. We've got a lot of folks. State Rep, a man who has my same initials, Andy Varios, ladies and gentlemen, is in the house as well. We've got more coming as well. Thank you, Museum of Science, for being able to give away all those tickets to everybody here. I see Taylor Grinnell of the Boston Red Sox is so happy. Now he can take his little boy to the Museum of Science, thanking Alberto Vasallo, his new godfather, Taylor. All right, one more major present to give away. Someone right now is going to walk away with a round-trip ticket, just like Pedro Martinez did in Cooperstown. When I was in Cooperstown, all of us drove, everybody in the media, all of those folks from Lawrence, and then Pedro shows up on a seaplane leaving Boston Harbor, and he gets there in an hour and 10 minutes. And I said, Pedro, how did you do that? I left like way before you. Alberto, you got to take this seaplane. So he told me about Tailwind fly the fast lane. There are those seaplanes. There's Pedro getting off at Cooperstown, okay? And we call, there's Big Papi. He didn't go on, his family did, but he didn't, right? But right now, check your seat. Somebody's gonna win 2 round-trip tickets to Boston, Miami. It takes an hour and 10 minutes, so just check your seat right now. Marhili, you are excluded, don't worry. I read the disclaimer, don't worry. Check your seat right now, and I wanna see who won. There, right over there. All right. You get 2 tickets. One for you and one for me. Ladies and gentlemen, right over there. That's the TD Bank table. Shout out to TD Bank as well. And where are my people from Harvard University? Harvard is in the house. And a special welcome to new team member, Manuel Cuevas Trizan. Manuel, how are you? Speaking of colleges and university, how could I have a Hispanic Heritage Breakfast without my sister from Cambridge College? No, seriously, how could I have it? She always crashes. Ladies and gentlemen, Maria Vasallo from Cambridge College and the whole folks from Cambridge College, congratulations. Again, always supporting the Hispanic Heritage Breakfast. Okay, Paul Bonfiglio, are you in the house with Juan Jaramillo? Paul, Funeral Home in Revere? I know you're here, I saw you here as well. And a guy who used to go to this is a true story. This guy used to go to the TD Garden, with the old Boston Garden in the 80s with his dates. And he would say, I'm really popular. Watch around the second quarter. They start chanting my name. Now, do you recall who was a big star in the 80s, number 33 of the Celtics? What was his name? And what was the chant? Let's start it. Ready? Larry, 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 Larry. Larry Andrews of the Massachusetts Capital Growth Corporation. Nice to have you here, Larry. He would do that. He would tell them they're going to start chanting my name. All right, let's keep going with the program, just so we can get this, so this doesn't turn into a lunch. All right. It's happened before, so. All right. Did I mention my favorite team is in the house? They featured baseball players with the last names of Ortiz, Ramirez, and Martinez. Ladies and gentlemen, the Brockton Rocks is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. They had all their kids this year playing the Brockton Rocks. There's their owner, Norm. Norm is the guy with the hat. If you've never been to a Brockton Rocks game, it is the most entertaining baseball game you will ever go. He does crazy things. Thank you, Norm. He's actually at the Red Sox table, and I love you, Boston Red Sox. Here's my only one piece of advice. One piece of advice. I started a hashtag. I hope you guys can all go to this hashtag. Please resign Devers. Can I get a yes on that? Yes, absolutely. I know the Yankees guy doesn't want that. All right. Our next presenter, we have coming to a moment in time where we have a special presentation. And I want to make sure that we have our friends from Point 32 Health. Do we have that ready? Perfect. Now let me find it in the script here. It's only a 44-page script. Hold on, come here. Okay. Preséntate tú mismo.
Okay, so yo sé otra vez. I have to present myself because he doesn't know who I am. No, this is okay. It is such an honor. I'm actually representing our CEO and our president, Kane Hayes, who was here last year. We shared the glory of Dr. Joe Bencourt for being a recognized partner in community. And I want to shift the table a little and also call an audible. I usually get in trouble for making decisions at the last minute, but they're always good decisions. So let me just say that while I bring the regrets of our president and CEO, Kane Hayes, who wishes he can be here, I have people in the house. So right here, Point 32 Health. I really want to call out Crismaldi and Rudy, incredible partners in community. And so on behalf of Kane, our leadership team, and colleagues at Point 32 Health, Gracias por esta oportunidad. Thank you for this opportunity. We're here to celebrate our community, but most importantly, I think to celebrate the extraordinary work and contributions of Alberto Vasallo Jr. 50 years is a long time to stick to something, right? Alberto, you are a true leader in our community. As a pioneer of Spanish language media and entertainment, you have been instrumental in giving voice to our community and telling those stories that we heard about earlier. I want to say that what's important about our stories is that they're meaningful. They've had impact. They make a difference. We are part of this larger community, which I think we need to recognize, but an important and vital part of the community. Alberto, you have led by example. I want to present this award to you, but you've also caused us to act. One of the things that is really important is that when we hear about what is happening in our communities, that we act. And so as president of the Point 32 Foundation and the leader of its corporate citizenship program, I'm going to call an audible. And this is what we want to do. We want to contribute $50,000 to relief in Puerto Rico. And we want to encourage action. This $50,000 will go to one of our local community partners, IBA, who has been extraordinary in supporting not only people here, but also in Puerto Rico. And so for the next 10 days, we will match up to $50,000 for all the donations that come out here. So you get to give, and you get to give, and you get to give. And so we want you all to give and demonstrate that we really can have impact when we act, because I think that we talk a lot about having impact and making a difference, but that difference is only made possible through action. And so, Alberto, this is because of what you have inspired in us to act, to not just say what's important to us, but to demonstrate it through our actions. So on behalf of Point 32 Health, especially our market leader here, Tufts Health Plan, I want to give you this award for 50 years of service.
I want to thank Point 32 Health for this honor, for this recognition. But more than that, I want to thank them for the $50,000 to the Puerto Rican that is suffering so much at this time. Thank you very much. Second, I want to thank everyone here in this room for coming in so early this morning. Believe me, I almost fell asleep. Usually I don't get up that early in the morning. Thank you very much. Also to those that had helped El Mundo for 50 years, especially my family, starting with Flor Maria, the mother of my kids, Maria Rosa. I used to call Maria Rosa my MacGyver. Who remember of MacGyver? There's no old people here like me? No? Okay. She used to solve everything that nobody could do it. Maria, I love you. Where's Maria?
Párate.
Can you get up, Maria?
Para que te vean y te conozcan.
Where is she? Isn't she beautiful? I think so. What can I say? Okay. Thank you. Thank to those who have been working for El Mundo for 50 years. For decades. Okay. Most of them are here. Some other are in heaven. I thank them very much for to make my dream possible. The dream that started in a basement. And I think especially my son Alberto, who had taken El Mundo to the next level. Thank you, Alberto. I love you, Alberto. I think I should mention the one who has been working for decades, still around, Jay Cosmopoulos. Jay somewhere in there. Jay, I love Jay as my own son. Marianne Morota, who could not be here for health reasons. Máximo Torres. Wilfredo Castillo, who is around here taking pictures. Juan Luis Montero. And especially, I should say that again, the mother of my child, who could not attend for health issues. 57 years ago, when I escaped from my country, getting away from a communist regime, I got a few things in my mind. Number one, to work hard, to become a good citizen and a good father. But when I arrived to this country, land of opportunity and freedom, I saw that I had something else to do. It was more than that. I thought that I have to support and work very hard for the community at large. That is what I've been doing all these times, and what I'll be doing for the rest of my life if I'm capable to do. I was going to thank Governor Shelley Baker, but unfortunately she had to leave, for his hard work for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, as well as Mayor Wu, Ayanna, which I know for a long time, my future doctor, Mr. Betancourt. Believe him, I think I'm going to switch to him. Okay, at least I'm going to laugh with him a lot. He's very funny. Okay, and that's life. That's life. The senator, too, for coming here and share this table, as well as my long time friend, Regla Guerra.
There it goes again.
Yeah, and the rest of the table. So I have to look my bullet points, because okay, I'm not going to be too long, because I think this is a large event and people have to go back to work and everything. But Mayor Wu, thank you for being a new mayor. I had the pleasure of working very close to Mayor Kevin White, Raymond Flynn, Thomas Menino, and Mary Walsh. And I hope that I could do the same thing with you, the new mayor of Boston. I only have an hour to go. No, you know, by finish this, I just want to say, God bless America, and God bless all of you. Thank you very much for coming.
He also did a quick video, very heartfelt video that we want to present now because, as I said, there is a long-standing relationship here, one that predates our Red Sox relationship, our relationship with Comcast, State Street, MGH, and that's with Goya. And we did a little video so that you guys could understand how deep and how long this relationship has been going on for.
To talk about Goya, I have to talk about El Mundo. El Mundo and Goya was a perfect marriage. I remember when I went to see the director of advertising director of Goya, Johnny Ortiz. Remember, that was back in 1972. So my way out to the office, he stopped me, and he said to the secretary at that time, "You know something? Buy a couple of full pages of El Mundo." And that was the beginning of the marriage of El Mundo with Goya. We've been doing business with Goya since 1972-73. And since that time, we became the bridge between the Goya products and the community. Our relationship with Goya come from when Joe Unanue was the president of Goya. Goya has been almost part of the family of El Mundo. In Boston, Rafael Toro has been the face of Goya and the community. I know him since he was a leader, young man. Okay, now I'm the little one. Okay, our friendship goes back when he was the director of the Kevin White Latino Board of Advisors. He's always been there for me, we've been there for him. Presenting an award to Rafael Toro is the Vasallo family and El Mundo a way to say thank you. He deserved it very much. I remember when I used to say, si es Goya, tiene que ser bueno. Now, I have to say, if it's Goya, it has to be good.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Goya, the Director of Public Relations, National Director of Public Relations, a man you all know, Rafael Toro.
Buenos días, familia. And I really feel like I'm with family here. Regla. We're together and not fighting. Que milagro. Also at my table are two gentlemen, Jorge Quiroga and Jose Marceau, icons in my town. Jorge was just named to the Massachusetts Broadcasters Hall of Fame. Congrats. You know, don't worry, I believe in the 3 tenets of public speaking, which is be brief, be entertaining, and be seated. So I will follow that. But on behalf of my colleagues at Goya, who are here today, and myself, it is truly an honor to stand here this morning to recognize the achievements of El Mundo and the Vasallo family. Personally and honestly, word cannot begin to describe how I feel representing Goya in the city where I made my bones. And on this very special day, acknowledging the 50 years of work, pain, and emotion that it took to make this newspaper, this business, survive and prosper. And while to many, more importantly, this was not only a business, but it was a way of educating the community, making them aware, and giving back. And initially, it wasn't easy convincing advertisers to invest in a Spanish newspaper. Just like it wasn't easy to convince chain stores to buy adobo and sazon. However, slowly, as the population increased, our voices were heard, resulting in El Mundo becoming a familiar name in the city of Boston. I have personally known Alberto Sr. since the late 70s. And as you saw in the pictures, I was a young man working for the mayor, but I can always count on Alberto's support. Thank you. He was part of the Hispanic Action Committee. HAC, what a name, huh? Alberto III. Who else is named the third here? Alberto, ¿no podía estar tu hijo otro nombre? Alberto's 50 years old y todavía lo llaman Albertito. Actually, he has done what is expected of an offspring when taking over the family business. He has taken it to the next level and has done an extraordinary job. And as in many other places, behind men, right at their side, not behind them, there's always great Latinas, like Maria, like Floyd, like Miriam. Without them, there would not be El Mundo. Marty, who works for my alma mater, Cambridge College. Got to give a shout out to Cambridge College. And it goes without saying that we're also proud for all the staff and the reporters throughout the years, as well as the small Hispanic and non-Hispanic businesses that stood by and supported the newspaper. Just as important as all I mentioned is the community who trusted and embraced this institution. And as a show of appreciation for the 50 years of partnership, cooperation, and friendship between El Mundo and Goya, it is my honor to announce that Goya will be donating 10,000 pounds of food to the charity of Alberto's decision. To all of you who played a role in the success of El Mundo, felicidades. You made us all very proud. Thank you.
Great, I'm going to have all those social services calling me tomorrow for that, but I did not know that. That's great. We have $50,000 for our Puerto Rican friends, and now we have 10,000 pounds of food for our community. So we're having a good morning so far. I'm ready to keep it going and keep it going really, really well because the next man on the mic is my man, Greg Wilmot. He is not only the president and CEO of East Boston Neighborhood Health Center, the state's largest community health center, proudly serving many immigrant families in the East Boston, Revere, Malden, Chelsea area, but he was recently appointed by Mayor Wu to the Boston Board of Health. Greg is a man of few words and unfortunately even fewer laughs, as you will soon see. Whenever I think of all my fake friendships, I can honestly say, Greg, you're the fakest. Just kidding. He didn't know that was coming up, sorry. He's such a good guy, he's not gonna care. But anyways, 71% of East Boston Neighborhood Health Center's patient population is Hispanic. Most of their patients are immigrants. 61% are served in a language other than English. And nearly half of their staff, 45%, are Latinos. So without further ado, my man, Greg Wilmot.
All right. Good morning. Great to see everybody. Alberto, thank you for your generous introduction. I won't say anything negative about you, Alberto. I'm a longtime fan of yours, even going back to your early work in TV and film. Welcome Back, Carter, Grease, Saturday Night Fever. Just a big fan of yours, so thank you. Great to be here. Coming in, I did get a lot of questions about, will we make it to the NBA Finals again this year? I want to be clear, I do not play for the Boston Celtics. Please don't let the hype fool you. I am the CEO at East Boston Neighborhood Health Center. I'm glad to be here again. I come here often. Usually when I'm here, I accompany my wife, Romina. If you know Romina, you know she is a, shout out to her. So for those that know Romina, you know she is a proud, beautiful Latina from Honduras. And we've been together nearly 25 years. And for us, you know, we try to celebrate all that we have in common as cultures. My family, we're from Jamaica. And, you know, for us, we celebrate our commonalities. And, you know, for example, Jamaicans were known for being very hardworking. You know, even now, you have 5 jobs. 5 full-time jobs. But Hondurans and Central Americans, also very hardworking. Absolutely. And another example, you know, Jamaicans were known for being very strict disciplinarians. I will say Honduran Latinas are also very strict. In fact, our reputation pales in comparison to Hondurans. If I were to ask you to guess what my daughter's first words were, what would you guess? Mama? No? No? Dada? No? Chancleta. Chancleta. All day long in my household. Do you want the chancleta? Do you want the chancleta? Do you want the chancleta? No? No, I don't. And for us gringos in the room, that means, do you want the slipper? Now, the slipper seems fairly unthreatening, non-threatening to some of us, but the chancleta in the hands of a Latina should be considered a dangerous weapon. In fact, if the governor is here, he's not here, but I might recommend this to some of our other friends on the stage, or Maura if she's here. I would recommend that we initiate in this state as soon as possible a chancleta buyback program. We gotta get, it is imperative we gotta get these chancletas off our streets, out of the hands of our Latina moms as soon as possible. My daughters would greatly appreciate that. I'm gonna be brief because I know we're past our time. I thought like CPT was just for my folks, but it looks like we're running very late here too. So East Boston Neighborhood Health Center. We are the largest community health center in our state. We serve over 70,000 Latinos, Latinx patients a year. Our staff is largely Latino, Latinx, over 700 of our staff. So when we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, it is truly a celebration of us. It's our Heritage Month, and we're so proud to celebrate it and celebrate with all of you, celebrate with my friends and colleagues here on the stage. A special just shout out to East Boston Neighborhood Health Center for your work. A shout out to all the organizations representing healthcare workers, representing advocates, and representing human service providers. Let's give them a round of applause, please. The last few years battling this pandemic has truly taken a village. It's taken partnerships, it's taken commitment from so many folks that are in this room, folks that are not in this room. So we're just greatly appreciative of the collaboration, the opportunity to work with our local officials, our state officials, our federal government to really help support our communities, and it really was a great partnership. Congratulations to El Mundo for your 50th anniversary. Congratulations, Regla, for your award. And thank you so much, everybody. Se ayudas, se valiente. Thank you so much. Gracias.
Thank you, Greg. All right, a shout out, Dan Rivera, former mayor of Lawrence. Is he in the house? Mass Development, Dan, always a pleasure to see you here. Rosana Acosta, Secretary of Labor, was here as well. I want to give a shout out as well to John Cruz of the Cruise Companies. Where's the Cruise Company table? Always here and present. Seltzer and Goldstein, are you here as well? Anthony, Josh, thank you for being here as well. And Luis Morales, owner of Latina 99.9, is also here. And a family that hopefully I will be joining soon. Where's my people from NBC 10? NBC 10 is here. And iHeartRadio, Rumba is in the house as well. Thank you for coming as well. All right. Every year, El Mundo Boston selects a community partner to highlight and amplify. And this year, we could not think of a more appropriate organization who has been amplifying Latino voices since 2018 and actually 2012, as they will be hosting their 10th anniversary gala. We would hope to be there. And in the beginning, when founders Ayanna Roman and Betty Francisco set out to launch an organization that cultivated a supportive and inclusive network, we saw how hard they work, and we're so proud of them. Let's take a quick look at what they've done in such a short time.
If there is one thing our community needs, is for our voices to be amplified. Since 2012, Amplify Latinx has taken this as its main mission, to amplify. Amplifying to advance Latino civic engagement, economic opportunity, and leadership representation. Through their events, even through virtual ones during the pandemic, Amplify Latinx has been able to connect and create opportunities for leadership. Its founders, Betty Francisco and Ayanna Roman, have dedicated time, tears, and sweat to construct a model to build economic and political power within the Massachusetts Latinx community. Today, El Mundo Boston amplifies the work of Amplify Latino X with our Community of the Year Award. Congratulations to Amplify Latinx.
Great job, Ayanna. Great job.
Okay, otherwise I will go over my 2 minutes. So, buenos dias. How's everyone doing? Okay, well, Alberto, what a beautiful video. Quite frankly, I look back at everything that we've done, and everyone that's here has been part of who we are, right? And so, first of all, I'd like to congratulate El Mundo on this momentous occasion. And a special mention to a trailblazer, Don Alberto. Don Alberto, we are so proud to follow your lead and your footsteps because you blazed that trail for us, so thank you. My name is Ayanna Roman, and I am a co-founder and board chair of Amplify Latinx. We're incredibly humbled to be recognized for the work that we do with so much love. Thank you to El Mundo for honoring Amplify with your annual Community Partner Award. Amplify is a collective effort, and I would be remiss if I did not highlight all the allies in this room, both partners and funders, who stand shoulder to shoulder with us to move the needle towards a more equitable Commonwealth. We are forever grateful to you all for believing in our work and for championing us. Most importantly, I would like to pause for a second to acknowledge the entire Amplify familia, including my co-founder, Betty Francisco, our staff who's here, our board members, advisors, volunteers, and collaborators alike. They are here with me to accept this honor on behalf of Amplify. Without their dedication, we would not be here today. Please stand and be recognized. Advisors are here, volunteers, collaborators, our board. Thank you. So this year, like Alberto said, we're proudly celebrating the 10th anniversary of our Latina Circle Network, something that started incredibly informally and turned into the Amplify Latinx movement. We have cultivated a collaborative network focused on transformative progress for Latinos across the Commonwealth. We shed light on the crucial need for economic prosperity in majority Hispanic gateway communities that are the backbone of American economic growth. Study after study, both local and national, demonstrate the remarkable potential and simultaneous socioeconomic barriers to success for Latinos. Amplify is here to give visibility to the extraordinary work of leaders across sectors with the purpose of closing those opportunity gaps for the Latino community. We're focused on solutions and on partnering with allies who understand the importance of equitable representation. Allies who wish to shape economic mobility and inclusive prosperity for the historically underserved and underrepresented Latino community. Our collective efforts must be intentional, deliberate, and sustainable, because our region's shared prosperity is tied to Latino prosperity given demographic shifts and the foreseeable economic impact of the Latino workforce for at least the next 3 decades. Given the importance of our work, our team is growing, and we welcome you to engage with us, not only to follow us on social media and all the things that we do, but also to join our events. You will find, most of you, I hope, at your tables, cards like these, and if you don't have any, we'll give you more, or you may find them at the table outside, because we'd love for you to join us. We welcome you, and we're delighted to be here. Thank you so much for this honor.
Thank you, Lady. All right, take your award, take your award. Yes. All right. Okay, is Carlos Gonzalez here, State Rep, first Latino to chair Public Safety and Homeland Security. Carlos is in the house. Other than Rafael Toro, who came from New York, and the Goya folks, I think, coming all the way from Springfield, they get the second record. Is my Councilor Ruzzi here? Ruzzi, are you here? I know you were here earlier. Shout out to you as well, and to our folks from Mass Higher. Okay, Roy is getting ready. Huh? Oh, I got something big for Judith Garcia. Yeah. Relax. No, just kidding. First time and only time I've ever told a mayor to relax. Relax, mayor. All right. Next on the mic is, well, what can I say? What wonderful things can I say about Lydia Edwards that she hasn't already said many times over and over herself? She is the first black state senator. Prior to that, she was city councilor representing East Boston. I know we have Gabby Coletta here in the house as well, City Councilor Coletta. Prior to that, she worked at City Hall. Prior to that, she was the Progressive Resource First Officer in first grade. Just kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, a woman who also doesn't need any introduction, the lady in red this morning, Lydia Edwards.
a todos. Bom dia, também. Eu falo português. That's something you forgot. So I speak also 4 languages. Okay? Okay? German, Spanish, Portuguese, and of course English. And I learned Spanish and Portuguese from my neighbors in East Boston. I learned it from representing and fighting for and working with Latinos, honestly. And I'm very, very honored to be able to be in this position, to be the state senator, not the first black in the whole entire state, but the first black person to represent this state Senate seat, the first woman to represent this state Senate seat. Say it because so many of us are here first as well. So many first in college, first to go to law school, first to have your business, first to get over. You know, come on now, clap for yourselves. Please. This room is full of firsts. I mean, look, we have the first Congresswoman, black Congresswoman from the state of Massachusetts. We have the first woman and Asian mayor of Boston. And the best thing is we all came from the same place, the Boston City Council. Hey. Hey, Boston City Council, yes. So, you know, I mean, I remember back when I first started there, right? There was 6 women for the first time. It was historic, it was amazing. But the best part was watching these 2 women get prepared to give their remarks. It was incredible to watch them take their notes. I mean, you would see Ayanna. Ayanna was always, oh, me? Me? Okay. And then she would give one of the best speeches in the world on, I don't know, paper clips or whatever. Every single time. But watching them get prepared was amazing. And I got to be part of that transition because I was part of the new city council before I went to the Senate. And man, seeing them also get prepared, it's wonderful to watch them take their notes like we used to, prepare their remarks like we used to, and then grab their baseball bats like we never did, right? And go and prepare for war. What on earth? I love you, but man, it's intense over there. But it's okay, because that's what it's supposed to be. I mean, honestly, you know, you heard my theme song, Savage, which, you know, it means something. Keep your minds out the gutter. It means something positive. It means I'm succeeding at various activities and goals every day. Who else is a savage? Who else is a savage? I got a bunch of, especially the women. I mean, you have no idea how hard it is to represent a Latino community. Not because of the needs of the community, not because of the language barrier, but because when you walk into a room filled with Latinas especially, you better bring it or go home. I'm not kidding. You think I didn't pick this on purpose? You think I was gonna come here looking average? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I've been to Brazil, I've been to Colombia, I've been all over the world. I don't care about her economic status. That woman looks good when she walks in the room. Oh my goodness, and then I come to this breakfast, a little late, oh my gosh. I thought they were gonna play Girl on Fire, but I didn't take the orange line, so I'm good. I come into this breakfast, I hear Bad Bunny, I'm seeing everyone hearing a lot of bass, and I'm thinking, oh, it's a regular commute in East Boston. When I wake up in the morning, the same thing, down by my house. I hear the same music, same everything. Then, of course, the girls were dancing, and I was like, geez, this is my first breakfast. I was so innocent. Here they are. Then we had a striptease. And he kept going too, you know, and he was like, okay, they went the tie, okay, they went the this, okay, Dios mío. We got kids watching. But I'm happy, I'm amongst family here. I mean, honestly, I have to say good morning to everybody, every Latino, except for my ex-husband. But other than that, anyway, but that's okay. But that means 1, obviously, I'm single. 2, I date Latino, I'm just saying. And 3, you know, as we already mentioned, I'm a savage. So whatever. Anyway, back to why we are here today. Not about me, right? Alberto said it's not about me. I talk about myself too much. We're here to celebrate resiliency. We're here to celebrate what happens when community comes together. When we serve each other, we actually shine the brightest light. When we don't care about how we're validated by other media, when we feed ourselves food that we know is good, economically, we will thrive. And that's something we have to keep reminding ourselves as people of color. We are what we need. We are who we are, and we are what we need. We don't need nothing else. We don't need validation from anybody else. We just need to serve each other. That's not to say we don't work with everybody. That's not to say we don't want to be part of mainstream. But if mainstream don't recognize our value, you're damn sure we will. We will. We will serve, we will provide, and we will fight together. And I wanted to say hello to Governor Healy, but she had already left. And then I wanted to say goodbye to Governor Pato. That's duck, as you know, for Spanish, but he's gone, and will be gone. But I also want to remind everybody in here, more importantly, and teach him a new phrase. It's yes on 4, or sí on 4, but he has already left. But you all know, November 8th, it's yes on 4. Yes on 4. Okay? ¿Se puede? Oh, that's so weak. ¿Se puede? We're going to keep driver's licenses in the state? Yes, we are. And we're going to be part of that fight. Again, we will do what we have to do. And this is what this community does. Resilient, togetherness, family, all of those things. That's the American way. I am a good politician and public servant 100% because of the Latino community. I started a legal clinic when I lost my job at the big mainstream law firm in the Latino community, the first one dedicated to nannies and house cleaners. That's when I learned Portuguese. Then I learned Spanish. Then I learned about community organizing. And because of this community, to celebrate it, we did the first Latin music festival in East Boston. $50,000 dedicated to just artists coming to celebrate and to be present. It's the first annual, I'll say, because we're going to do it again. We're going to keep doing it, and we're going to keep celebrating, because this community is not only the present, but it's obviously the future. Now, I want to thank Alberto for all of his work, because amplifying and moving us forward takes a lot of work. I also want to just acknowledge a couple other things and people who I'm going to be honored to serve with, and I don't know if they're here today. Another person who's leaving the State House is Sonia Chang Diaz, the first Latina in the state Senate. So I want to give her a round of applause. I also want to acknowledge Adam Gomez, who's the first Latino in the state Senate, and to welcome Pavel Payano, who will be joining us in the state Senate, and also Liz Miranda. What you just heard is that we're going to have 4 state senators of color. That's 10% of the state Senate for the first time in the history of Massachusetts. And 3 of the 4 are immigrants. Do you understand what this means and where we're going? So I'm just honored to be here. I'm glad you didn't lose my invitation this year of the 5-6 years that I've been a public servant. Thank you so much for inviting me this year. And just a shout out real quick, I always do this because you have to elevate the future. My Chief of Staff, Eduardo Moreno, please stand up. Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at the first Latino Chief of Staff in the state Senate. From El Salvador, East Boston, immigrant. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you very much. We are almost at the end of this. We came to give a Lifetime Achievement Award. I want to do a photo op regla with you and the mayor before the mayor is, because we have Roy, who's going to have a grand finale, and then we're going to honor regla with an incredible video. I know the mayor's been here now for 2 hours, and you've got to get some work done. So I just want, as I'm introducing Roy, if you could take a few photos with regla, if we can get a couple photographers, as I introduce our next speaker. So we're going to multitask here. If we get a photographer, get regla as I introduce. Anyways, I got a funny story. Ed, Brian De Pena. Let's give a shout out to the mayor of Lawrence, Brian De Pena, who's in the house. State Representative Frank Moran is in the house. Frank, thank you for coming as well. And any other newly elected or elected that we may have overlooked, sorry about that, but absolutely congratulations to all of you. I know that Ayanna was here, Dizogli. I know that Anthony Amore is here. One of them are going to be our next state auditor. So a lot of great folks in the room this morning. Okay, this next guy who I'm going to introduce, okay, who I had him at last because he's got a great finale, okay? I've known for many years. We've grown up together. That's the beauty of growing up here in Boston. A lot of these folks, you know, Ayanna and Michelle, later on in life, I kind of got to meet them, but the Gladys Vegas of the world, you know, the Anthony Galuccios of the world, and then this guy I've known, you know, as far as I can remember. He's the son of small business owners in Chelsea. His parents, Tito and Isabela Avellaneda, were immigrants from Argentina. They started the iconic Tito's Bakery on Broadway in the 70s. Absolutely. Then later, he has become a polished public service, first elected to the Chelsea City Council in '97, and this year serving for an unprecedented third straight year as council president. And more importantly, when we were growing up, we used to call him the Argentinian Clark Kent. Now, take a look at this picture. Not that one, not that one. That's him now. But back in the day, he even had the Christopher Reeves curly look. I know we got it in the back over there. Oh, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, he actually played the role of Superman during the pandemic, so I'll give him credit. Clark Kent, or Superman, or whatever you want to call him, Roy Avellaneda.
That is why you don't do Throwback Thursday. Thank you very much, Al, for the introduction, and thank you for the invitation here and to be on this stage with all of these great people. Unfortunately, Governor Baker has already left, but I wanted to just say to him, especially, I wanted to acknowledge his work. Thank you for the work that he did and the assistance he gave Chelsea. We went through a rough time there, working alongside with Gladys Vega and State Senator Sal de Domenico, the calls that were going on. I know that personally, Chelsea and many gateway communities across the state would have been in much worse condition had he not stepped up. And so I appreciate it, and I wanted to state that. To Don Basayo, I want to say it's an honor to be on stage here. Both he and my father came to Boston around the same time. They were Latino businessmen, pioneers in that time. I saw Alberto Calvo was here also, another gentleman that was at the beginning of Latinos coming to Boston and starting their businesses. And I can speak comfortably with, and Albertito knows this, that, the work ethic, the pride, the dedication to community that we have, we learned from them. So it's, I'm sure that there are a lot of people in the audience who say, who's this white guy on stage over here? So, yes, I mean, that's the great thing about Latino culture and heritage, right? Is that we're a very diverse group. Black, brown, Indian, white. We have curly hair, straight hair, black hair, blonde, redheads. I mean, it's all natural except for Vasallo. He's doing it by the bottle. But I'm also, besides a member of the Latino community, also a lifelong member of the city of Chelsea. And, coming from Chelsea, being a little town, we also many times get overshadowed by, being next to Boston. It was the big brother. Now I'd say it's the big sister because we have a female mayor. But, and for example, I would say that, Alberto made a big mistake tonight. He didn't even acknowledge my colleague yet, Councilor Judith Garcia is here. Who is now a state rep candidate, our Democratic primary candidate for November 8th. And if we work hard, and I know Gladys and I are going to be working hard. I know Dr. Benko is here. We're going to work hard to make sure that we beat the Republican, sorry, regular, come November 8th. And we'll make history in Chelsea. And for the first time, the Chelsea seat will have a Latina in office. And what I mean by making a mistake by overlooking, she's Honduran. Alberto's going to get the chocleta later on. You bet it, I'm telling you. Chelsea is the first in the state. We've done a lot of great things. Chelsea's first in the state to offer pre-K care, free daycare for parents working class. It's a great thing that we did. Some of the other accomplishments that this little city did was it offers now paid tuition to all Chelsea High students so they can go to Bunker Hill Community College and get an associate's degree. No one else does that. We're a city that offered a guaranteed income program that during COVID, we were able to financially help our community, our residents. Again, a pilot program, no one in the country offered that. And it's all of this, the great thing about all of this is a lot of it was all done by the first Massachusetts Latino Majority Council. So I just want to say that when we're talking about the Latino heritage, Chelsea also was the first city in the state to hire a Latino police chief. He was Cuban. We asked him, where are you from? He goes, from Cuba. We said, what part? He goes, Miami. And of course, Chelsea was the home to the first Latino heavyweight champion, John Ruiz. So again, a lot of things. Alberto was joking earlier, calling me Superman, Clark Kent, and of course, earlier, a younger resemblance when I was in my 20s. But there's actually a real story behind this. And a lot of people don't know the story, so I'm about to out it. And everyone knows about Rosario doing his trips and trying to get people to go on these trips around, whether it's the Patriots game, Caribbean, and so forth. And he kept on being friends, asking me all the time, but come on a trip with the guys and so forth. But it was always scheduled work. I finally decided, I said, okay, I got some time, had a free summer, I get on this trip, and this one was to go to DR. And he had this great thing planned, because at the time he had just made this great relationship with someone from the Red Sox organization. He's telling me they just opened a training facility in DR. We're going to go out there. Part of the trip, we're going to visit the training camp and have some fun down there. I was like, you know what? Why not? So we did all the stuff that he was saying. And I remember, on this one particular excursion, we're sitting on the back of this pickup truck with a wood bench, and we're driving 10 miles on a dirt road. I mean, needed a chiropractor when I came back, and it takes us in the middle of the jungle somewhere, and there's this beautiful waterfall with a pool of water right there. And we're all ready to jump in. We all jump in and so forth, and now, we're back on shore, and I'm looking back at the water, and there, flailing about in the middle of this pool of water was Alberto. And I recognized right away, he was in trouble. So, faster than a speeding bullet, I jumped back into the water, grab him, arm around the neck, doggy paddle back to the shore, and got him out of danger. And luckily, there was no mouth-to-mouth resuscitation needed. But that's the Superman joke that we have privately, and now you all know. So I have to say this, Alberto, if I am, the little Superman in this whole play role that we go on. And you're the reporter that I saved. Doesn't that make you Lois Lane?
That story. I don't like the water, and it was true. I was drowning pretty much, and he swooped in, and I guess I am your Lois Lane. Okay, Rasan Hall, Plymouth County DA, is in the house. Thank you for coming all the way. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the moment we've all been waiting for. Okay, she hates being last. She wanted to be first. I said, it doesn't work that way, Rega. Whether as Vice President of LULAC, the League of United Latin American Citizens, the largest and oldest Hispanic membership organization in the country, or simply as a proud Cuban exile, helping Latinos from all countries, if I had 3 words to describe her, I wouldn't even try. I would choose a video to do it, and that's exactly what we did. Check it out, Regla. She doesn't know this is coming.
Regla González es elegante,
driven,
resilient,
and loud.
Because remember, critics out there are loud, but success is louder.
For me, Regla González is the spark that ignited what we see as Latino Boston today. She ignites a fire every single day with everybody that she talks to. For me personally, I probably wouldn't have gone into city government if it weren't for Regla González.
Since he came to Boston almost 50 years ago, she has been a civil rights leader, not only for Cubans, but for all Hispanics. And she took her fight from the governor's office to the city hall to the community.
She's been doing this for 5 decades, and you know, that's tough work, especially when you didn't have social media and all these other mediums that help you reach out to people. Back then, she had to go out and, you know, connect, have meetings, do the hard work, get out there and get it going.
Regla González came from very humble beginnings, and her impact has been dramatic all throughout. She's somebody that not only deserves to be honored, but she also deserves to be thanked. She's an icon for our community, and we are so lucky to have her with us today.
Hi, Regla. I love you. You're my sister, my best friend. You are a wonderful person and a true leader.
Congratulations, all those that know you. We love you, we appreciate you, y felicidades por ahora y por muchos más. Un beso.
She opened the door for me, and she's been opening doors ever since. That's the power of Regla González in Boston.
That's not true. She's a pain in the neck.
Oh, I can say that too.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2022 El Mundo Boston Lifetime Achievement Award, Regla González.
I want to add something about Regla. Okay, I met Regla when she came to the United States, but our family were very close in Cuba, and she was so, and still, so pretty. You see the picture there? Okay? And I've been saying to myself all this time, Regla, you were so pretty. If I wouldn't know that in Cuba, I would never marry you.
Even if I'm a pain in the neck.
That's a joke.
Bueno, ya no puedo decir good morning. I cannot say good morning. Maybe good mid-afternoon or coming into lunch. So it is a great pleasure and an honor for me to be here with all of you in this very special occasion. I want to start by thanking the founders of El Mundo newspaper, Alberto and Flor Maria Vasallo, whom I love terribly, and she wasn't able to be here. But Flor, I love you, who I met shortly after arriving in Boston, all of them in 1971. People, I was 3 years old in 1971, okay? Don't figure out my age yet. And also their children, Albi, as I call him all the time, Maria Rosa, who I've known both of them since they were in diapers. When I was told that I would be receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award, I began to reflect on my 50 years of service to our community. Throughout the years and the various roles that I play, I have met some amazing, talented, and inspirational people who have been instrumental in helping me achieve the success. I would like to share with you some of my own personal formula for success, which is, first and foremost, be passionate. You cannot be successful in any unless you are the passionate. And by passionate, I say consistently passionate. And sometimes I become a pain in the neck, like I've been told, but not only during the good times and the not so good times, is that you have to be thankful. Engage and appreciate others. You cannot be successful without the help of others. A true leader is always open and frank with others, which includes taking and accepting advice and guidance from others. I want to thank so probably many people, especially some that may be here in the audience today, that have worked with me throughout my life. I'd like to thank all of you. Many of you are here and have helped us in LULAC and many other endeavors. Be bold. Do not be afraid to challenge the status quo. Stand up for what is right and remain a constant voice for those who may not have a voice. So the bottom line, if you remain consistently passionate, engaged, and appreciate those around you, and be courageous and bold, you too will be successful in everything you set out to do. Lastly, remember always that one person that can influence many and can create the type of change that is needed in society. Thank you very much. And I'd like to let many know that I'm not Gonzalez Coleman, neither Gonzalez Guerra, which Tony Molina and Alberto Vasallo Sr. always call me by the Guerra, neither Egan. I am Regla Gonzalez, a very proud Cuban American who came to this country to work and serve my community. Thank you.
Just stay standing because you guys can all go home now and go to work. We are done. We're over. Thank you for this year. Thank you to all the supporters, Goya, Boston Globe, MGB, MGH, East Boston Neighborhood Health Center, Point Health 32, everybody who's in the audience. See you next year. Bye-bye.